Welcome back to another episode of Football Tailgaters Podcast, where we talk everything about the NFL. Today, I have here with me Andy, the unbiased football fan, and Yams, a Texans Jets fan, and I am Aaron, your Cowboys fan. Today, we have two exciting topics to talk about. One of them that's pretty recent, and we're going to start off with this one, and we're going to have Andy explain a little bit about this. So, it's about the Patriots. And I guess you could say it's like there's big question marks around their coaching roles right now, especially on the offensive side, the offensive coaching staff. We're going to ask the question, is the lack of defining coaching roles for Patriots a concern? So, Andy, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So, after the offseason, there's a whole bunch of coaching changes throughout the entire league. One of the biggest coaching changes that impacted the team is the departure of Josh McDaniels, leaving as offensive coordinator from the Patriots and going to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. And he takes a lot of years of experience, and he did also win Super Bowls for the Patriots. He did have his run as a head coach with the Broncos at one point. That didn't last long. His debacle was, maybe it started with him drafting Tim Tebow. They did go to the playoffs, but it just didn't end well. So he did after that go back to the Patriots, and he had tremendous success. However you want to put it, it's Bill Belichick more or Tom Brady. He still had a lot to do with it because he worked with Tom Brady and just had a lot of success there. Just being in a really successful organization and plan scheming and everything with those two great all-time greats or GOATs, he does leave a big void with the Patriots. Now, what's interesting regarding the Patriots of his departure is that when the media goes, and it's very normal for the media to start asking questions. Well, who's going to be the new offensive coordinator? Who's going to be filling that void? Who's going to be doing what for the coaching staff? What changes with the coaching staff? And this time, Bill Belichick, because he's the controller, he's the maneuver of that organization. They haven't disclosed much about it. They're keeping everything as a hush hush. Even the other coaches, like the position coaches, they're acting dumb and not saying what's going on, but they have responded by saying, no, well, I'm just helping along with my position, offensive line. Like, for example, Matt Patricia, he's just going to be working for the offensive line. Also, for Joe Judge, maybe we'll be working with the quarterbacks. And I guess the biggest one that might be that many people and many media are thinking that might take a bigger role, but again, it's a hush situation, is Nick Haley, the tight ends coach. He's been working a long time for the Patriots, and it seems like he knows. He worked with a lot with Josh McDaniels, so he might have a bigger role. But the situation with this is that, this is a way of, like, either you're thinking that Bill Belichick just knows what he's doing, he's just controlling this company or this corporation, however you want to call it, and just keeping everything like in a game plan of, like, this is how it is. Nobody has like big time defining roles of who's going to be doing what. I know Bill Belichick, he's more of the defensive guy there, and he always has control of defense, but with the offense, it seems like he's doing his own his way of changing the plan this year compared to others. And it's up to you how you think, if it's going to be effective, if it's going to be good for them. Either you just believe on Bill Belichick or not. And in my opinion, I think he's just Bill Belichick's just a complete football genius. And regardless whether you think about his cheating times or whatever, he's just been doing really impressive things throughout his whole career. Even though he did have the GOAT Tom Brady as his quarterback, I'm still not taking anything away from him. He is I still can't believe that game when he played against the Buffalo Bills and they ran the ball every single play and won the football game with Josh Allen and that monster offense. I mean, it was unbelievable that they won that game. But so in my opinion, I mean, it's just trust the system, trust Bill Belichick. It does have Mac Jones as his quarterback. This is going to be his second year. He's a systematic quarterback. He does listen to what they're saying. Just don't go and take the risky throws. Give what the defense gives you. Throw here, short term, get the first down, and little by little you win the games. I think Bill Belichick's a big competitor, and he wants to show that he can win without Tom Brady. Tom Brady already won. He showed that he can win without Bill Belichick. So I think Bill Belichick wants to show that, hey, it's not that Tom Brady was bigger. Like, look what I can do. I think he's such a competitive guy. So I really don't see anything wrong with him. I still believe and I still trust his scheme and his football IQ. So I'm all good with that. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, honestly, could it just be that the media is making a bigger thing than it is? I mean, are we surprised that Belichick doesn't give information? Are we surprised that he comes off short in his press conferences? So if he's asked who's the coordinator, perhaps he knows, he just doesn't want to give the information. And so there goes the media blowing it up. It's Belichick at the end. He doesn't really like to give information. You know, we have what, Judge and Matt Patricia. I mean,
yeah. They were head coaches that were
right.
Awesome. They came back though.
They came back. Right. Like, you sucked at your other job, yet you're gonna come back to me. So a couple of things here that I thought of. Okay, but Belichick doesn't really give much information, so perhaps he already knows who he wants. He just doesn't want to tell the media. Belichick is a mastermind of football when it comes to football, so I can't really argue some of his ways, because at the end of the day, somehow the team's always in play. They're a decent team. They're a good team. Last year they were good. I know that Tom Brady did help a lot when he was a quarterback. So quarterback is the most important role in the football team. And like you mentioned, Andy, he does probably want to win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady and show that he can achieve a Super Bowl winning capabilities just like Tom Brady. I'm sure Bill will get it right. Now, when it comes to the coaching, I mean, this could be a new way. I mean, why can't we have quarterback competitions? We have quarterback competitions, and who will be the quarterback for the team? Why can't there be coordinators competition?
I mean, that's a.
So who can be the play caller?
I didn't think of it that way, but
maybe he's on to something different. Why do I have to name or give you the job knowing that you might suck later on? I'd rather have a competition between two prior head coaches.
I don't think that's wise. I mean, what if it's a company, you need like a director and you trust that your director to maneuver that department or whatever. And it's not like a race thing or like who's better at this or who's better at that. I mean, maybe there's like a little thing, like a little window about, I don't know, maybe these OTAs, like who's getting more response from the players, I guess,
yeah.
Or how Bill Belichick is seeing like who is better at that. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, it could be a way of looking at it, but it has to be soon and make a decision soon because, I mean, training camp is around the corner. I mean, we're almost 2 months away from it, or a little less than 2 months away from it. So, I mean, it's a good point to see who has a better feel for it. I mean, but does Bill Belichick really have his offensive side to know what's what? I mean, I guess he just what the coaches are like talking about. I mean, whoever he thinks is better has a better IQ of the next season for it, and also how to maneuver Mac Jones for this new season. I mean, they did go to the playoffs. I'll give you that with the rookie quarterback. I mean, they did like. they did get kicked out
Yeah,
really awfully.
They did, and he was able to manage that with a rookie quarterback, right? But
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels was there, and so I'm pretty sure he had trust in him. But now you have Joe Judge, and Matt Patricia, and I'm okay with doing a coordinators competition. I mean, why not? We're in 2022.
What do you think, Aaron? Crazy things are happening. So I mean, that's not. Why not try it? I mean, maybe it's. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I although it's because it's tough because both Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, when they both had their opportunities as head coach, they didn't shine at all. Who was it? Matt Patricia has 3 years with the Lions, and Joe Judge had 2 years with the Giants, and they both had terrible records while they were there. So who knows what that speaks of them. And I mean, do you guys remember how special those offenses were? Like, they weren't special at all. And I can assure you, you can find out there plenty of games when it came to, a bunch of decision making when it came to the offensive side. Even though they're not great offensive teams, the Giants and the Lions, but obviously this is a different scenario. And if this question was asked for any other team, it would be a bigger concern. But since, it's as simple as Bill Belichick being on there, it's nothing you have to worry about. So I think the Patriots would be fine with whomever they go, because it's Bill Belichick. It's that name he's been carrying around for years and years on end, and he's just this mastermind that he was able to accomplish something significant with a young quarterback. To be specific, a rookie quarterback with Mac Jones going to the playoffs, and without Tom Brady, which is the biggest question that I think a lot of people had when Tom Brady first left, was how is he going to do it without Tom Brady? And, it took some time. There was a little bit of struggle with Cam Newton, and, but he's not that great of a quarterback, in my opinion, as of right now. But with Mac Jones, he's got something special right there. And, I think with the team they just really have as like the complete team that it is already, they shouldn't have a problem with going with the types of coaches that they have. I did see that Matt Patricia was working with the offensive line. I did read on that. So, I mean, that's something to consider. I don't know how they would go about this. I do think it's interesting, Yams, how you mentioned like they should have some sort of competition. I think that would be very exciting. Don't know how they would do such thing, but the training camp is coming soon. So they do have to make a decision, but it's not a big deal. It's nothing. It's the Patriots with Belichick. If this was, I don't know, any other team, it's like actually any other team, you would ask that question, you'd be more concerned, right? I mean, it's that simple. You just have that much trust because of how much experience Belichick has in mentoring these great coordinators that sometimes go off on their own and don't do that great, but other times, they're pretty decent. I don't know what's a good example. I can't, like, right off the top of my head, what's a good example that Belichick has mentored a coordinator and has gone to a head coach and done good? Not Shanahan, right? Shanahan.
Who'd you say?
From the San Francisco. Where was he before?
No, he was from Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, I mean, but that's
the last one that I can say that I can think of that he did well, because yeah, you're right. There's a lot of coordinators that leave the Patriots, and all the teams are like excited, like, let me get this guy to be my head coach. And I want what the Patriots success have here. So I want that Belichick mentality here, and they just go down. Bill Belichick's just like really good, and like they're his apprentices. I don't even know if they're apprentices, because maybe they just work there in a good company, and everybody just thinks, oh, cool, we're gonna have success, and they just turn out to be that they don't. Mm-hmm. The last one that I think like was doing well, and I mean, I guess people can think yes or no, like 50-50 on it, but I do think that Brian Flores was a good coach in Miami, and and I think he was getting some success there with just the resources that he had there. He was prematurely let go out of the Dolphins, and I think that was just a bad mistake by the Dolphins. Again, this is why these handful of teams continue to have issues and they don't do well in the NFL because they do these boneheaded decisions, just like the Browns, like Miami, the Jets. They have these situations that just keep them into like in a losing state of mind, and losing Brian Flores, in my opinion, was a big problem. But yeah, you can say, I mean, Josh McDaniels, he did leave before, and he wasn't good that great of a coach in the Broncos. Matt Patricia went to the Lions. He didn't do well. Joe Judge went to the Giants, and these are just recent coaches, and he didn't do well. Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard, and I mean, it's also strange. I mean, Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator for 6 seasons for the Patriots, and going from a defensive coordinator to an offensive line, I mean, it makes you also think. But I mean, you can say a lot of the times that also it's really, I don't see it that often that coordinators that go in to become a head coach have success. Mostly they don't. Even your Jason Garrett, I think that he was a good coordinator at some point, and then they become a head coach, and no, he didn't do anything. And then he went to the Giants, and look, he got let go as a coordinator. So it just happens. And I mean, Shanahan is a good example of being a coordinator and having a lot of success. I mean, you can also say that he got trained by his father as well. We have so much knowledge there, but I mean, yeah.
I just think it's not as easy as when teams look at great coordinators that are under great head coaches. You know, it's not as easy as like, all right, you did amazing with this guy. Come and do great stuff over here. It's not that easy. It really isn't, because there's more to it, and I feel like it's a dumb move that what they do. Who knows how it's gonna be over there? Because McDaniels went with Las Vegas, right? The Raiders.
Yeah. He's with the Raiders. So
we'll see.
I mean, he does have a team per se. I mean, it all goes down to Derek Carr. I know that they did extend them, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But I mean, a head coach is super important to have success. I mean, if you look at the coaches that have gone to the Super Bowl recently, I mean, Bill Belichick, Sean McVay. When has the last time that the Rams had some success? Until they got Sean McVay there, and he knew what he needed to do, and he traded his quarterback. So those are like big time moves that it's really hard to find. Andy Reid, he had some success in Philadelphia, and then he turned a new leaf in Kansas City, and because of Patrick Mahomes or whatever, he needed his quarterback, and boom, won a Super Bowl. I don't know about Bruce Arians, because I think that was mostly all Tom Brady, in my opinion, but that's a different subject. Kyle Shanahan, he went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers, and look at his resources with Jimmy G. So yeah, it's super hard to find a head coach. It's super important. So I mean, in this situation, I just trust whatever Belichick is doing, even though it's like really weird moves. Like, hey, defensive coordinator Mike Patricia is going to be is going to help the offensive line. What, you're going from completely doing what you were doing for many years, all the way going to just do the offensive line? That's strange, but okay.
Yeah, because before he did, he was very on the defensive side. He was a defensive coordinator for the Patriots for, I think it was 6 years, and then he was also a linebackers coach, I'm seeing. And he was on offensive line coach in 2005, all the way in 2005 with the Patriots. So it is strange to see what direction they're gonna go, or where they're going right now. Like, just not being very specific with their coaching coordinators, but it shouldn't be a problem. I don't see an issue.
It's also scary to think, Joe Judge to be the quarterback's coach and the coaching Mac Jones. I mean, look what he did with Daniel Jones and the Giants. I mean, really? Is that what you want? But I mean, believe in Belichick.
Or maybe they have the same, or maybe they have all the coaches on the same page, and they're going to alternate position coaches. Maybe.
What do you mean?
Like there's no clear number one for offensive coordinators, what you're
Yeah,
saying?
there's not a clear positions title
That's happened
coach.
before.
We're just all
A room of board members, and let's
Yeah,
just.
it's happened
Are we
before.
on the same page? Let's do this
There's-
this season, this
yeah.
week, and next week we're gonna do that. And this
Well,
and
I
that.
don't know about this. Let's do this. We're gonna focus on this week and next week that. But yeah, they're all on the same page. They don't all. They all have. They're not an expert in their position, so they just all get together and just practice, and they
Yeah.
leave the room, and they're all on the same page. So there's no miscommunication between coaches.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. It could be. I honestly think what I said earlier is just what Belichick is doing. It's just a. I wouldn't say it's a competition and coordinator. That's kind of me just saying things, but
And as a player, you're with the Patriots. You're just gonna trust everything they say. It's not like you're with the Jaguars and you're just gonna have a question mark because you know how the Jaguars have been for like the longest time, and you're just gonna have a question mark. Is this coach doing it right, or this one, or this one? I mean, taking away that with their new head coach that has had some success. I'm just giving just a pure example of just as a player that you start questioning things, or the Cleveland Browns or whatever. I mean, you're with the Patriots and you're just gonna go with what it is
well,
because
you have
know.
to. If you speak up in that organization, you're out.
Yep. Yeah, and I think they all know.
Yeah,
How it
if you
is.
speak up, you're out. Like you're not part of the team.
Yeah.
Any kind of negative answer, or if Belichick comes and says pop quiz, and if you don't know the answer, you're out.
I mean, yeah, it could be that hardcore, but yeah, just trust the process.
Yeah, they'll be fine. As for the Cowboys, though, I don't think they're that fine. This is gonna be the next question. We're gonna be talking about the Cowboys and their wide receiver core with Amari Cooper now gone to the Browns. They're left with the clear number one, I think, is Cee Dee Lamb. And we asked, do you think they can get to a higher level with Cee Dee Lamb? And I'm going to start first with this. I personally don't think they're going to go to a higher level simply because, I mean, Amari Cooper was, when he was available and wasn't injured and healthy, you know, when he was healthy, he was the number one. And Cee Dee Lamb was just able to get better looks with his routes. He was just able to just explode and have an amazing rookie season, and just be a better player and not have that much, I guess, like pressure of being the number one focus of the, I guess, offensive side. I guess eventually as it got later to the seasons, you know, and as people started to see him, like how good he was, they started to focus more on him, and you know, Amari Cooper had his issues. But I don't think they're gonna get to a higher level. I think they're just gonna maybe I think they're gonna be pretty much like good enough. I think Cee Dee Lamb can definitely be a good number one, and we just have to have just good number twos and threes for the wide receivers. It just has to be that easy. So as long as Cee Dee Lamb keeps doing what he's been doing, be an explosive player, it'll be fine. But I don't think they're gonna get to a higher level. Obviously, you lose talent, you're not gonna go higher because now your second best player, who can easily be a number one in any other team, is gonna be number one there now. If that makes sense, it's just no. You go down a level, I say, but it's not to where they're gonna be bad. But it's already being like a thing. Like they're not talking about the wide receiver core for the Cowboys as much as it used to be. Mari Cooper left, and now it's no longer the okay. This wide receiver duo, which one's the best one? You know, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and stuff like that, or such examples of that. And now they're just kind of out of the question, and it's not as big of a deal for them. And they definitely went down a level, but I don't think it's the end of the world for them. I think they'll be fine, but they're gonna maybe start depending more on the running game. Maybe they're gonna have to, because they were a good passing team, and they were kind of pass heavy this past season. So I think they'll just depend more on the running game, and that doesn't make me feel good as a Cowboys fan because Elliott hasn't been the best lately. But I am excited about, just having Tony Pollard there and seeing what he's able to do and provide that, I guess, like not make Elliott look as bad as he has been lately. He's been kind of like covering that ground that he hasn't been able to. So it's definitely a downgrade, and I don't think I'm excited as I was, last year when it was Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and Cee Dee Lamb. And it's not a shade. I'm not throwing shade at Cee Dee Lamb whatsoever. I think he's fantastic. It's just, obviously it's a struggle for them just losing another prime target. So that's my thoughts.
There's a lot of questions I have with the Cowboys, and probably I need an expert to answer. Look, lack of experience being a wide receiver. I don't remember in his college days, was he the number one receiver there in the college team?
Yeah.
Was he?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So he has some experience, but at least not at an NFL level, right? Now, maybe the biggest loss here, maybe it wasn't so much Cooper, but it was probably Wilson. Wilson, who was lost. So now you have to lean more on Gallup. And I don't know if is Gallup still on the team?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
he's got big contracts.
I don't know if Gallup's going to be able to merge to what Wilson was. I think Wilson was a lot better than Gallup. Some of the things that come
different. They're different receivers. Like they're
different.
Their core, yeah. Like I would say Wilson was more of like a like he was like more of like a Cee Dee Lamb than he was an Amari Cooper, if that makes sense. I think with Michael Gallup, he's more of like a go up and get it type of player. And for Cedric Wilson, he's like more of a route runner, like a mix between Amari Cooper and Cee Dee Lamb, I think. That's how he was. At least that's how I saw him. I don't know.
Now, not that my next comparison. I'm not trying to compare players. I'm just comparing the situation that happened. Again, I'm not comparing the players because I know they're completely different. But something that reminded me of is when Antonio Brown was in the Steelers before, when he was on this team, and then we had Juju, and everyone was on, oh, Juju is so great, blah, blah, blah. He was really good. But once Antonio Brown left, the stress became on Juju. Again, I'm not comparing that, Juju and Cee Dee Lamb are the same. But
that's a fair point. That happens a lot with teams.
That happens a lot. So Juju's not amazing now because now there's not
double coverage for the number one wide receiver.
Right, which leads me to the next thing. So it's now kind of falls on Dak and Kellen Moore to design plays to allow Cee Dee Lamb to create those plays and be the number one receiver. And my question is there enough around Cee Dee Lamb to take off that stress to be the number one wide receiver? Now, I mentioned Gallup. You mentioned Tony Pollard and Zeke. I don't know if that's enough. Could it be that it was just a false narrative that Cooper was good?
I mean, you saw it with your eyes. What do you think?
I don't know. If he was so good, why would the Cowboys let him go for a fifth rounder?
Well, because also
he's injury prone.
Injury prone and also salary cap.
And salary cap is a big one.
Well, it also bothers me that the Cowboys team is such a they're all around marketing. I know every NFL team is. So I question a lot of the moves they make. So they gave Cee Dee Lamb the number 88. So in Jerry's world, why are you going to give Cee Dee Lamb 88 for him not to be the number one receiver? So they obviously can't have Cooper there because Cooper was the number one wide receiver, correct?
Yes.
Yes, so he was.
So he had to get rid of him. It's all pure marketing. I gave you the 88.
No, because I think Jerry's. I think he wants to win more than anything.
No.
Yeah, come on.
It's not that at all. I'd say.
I don't think so.
Are you saying Amari Cooper left because CeeDee Lamb has the number 88?
Yes.
No, he was shining even with Cooper there. No, of course not.
He was shining there because of the plays are around Cooper. So obviously the number 2 becomes... It's like the example I just told you about Antonio Brown and Juju. Juju was amazing. So, but now I gave him the number 88, which is a big wide receiver number as a Cowboy. It's all marketing. I have to have him be my number 1 receiver. I need to get him to be the number 1 receiver. So marketing team tells me I need to get rid of Cooper.
This is going to be Cee Dee Lamb's 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he was drafted in 2020 in April, so we had
Yep.
the 2020. Well, or no, this is his 2nd year.
Let's see. Yeah, this is his 2nd year. Yep.
This is his 2nd year. So,
It was all part of the plan.
well,
He
I
got
mean, it's not.
drafted
I mean,
in
what if he
2020.
wasn't that good? I mean, I'm sure that they had to see something. They're just gonna be, oh, because we just assigned him the number 88, we have to do all these changes, and who cares about winning? No, Jerry Jones wants to win. He said like he would pay $1 billion if he could to win another Super Bowl. So I don't think that's the case here.
It's his 3rd year. Sorry, not 2nd.
It's gonna be his 3rd year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he had a 1,000-yard season last season. I remember now, and then his first season was like enormous. But he didn't get the 1,000 yards there. But he was explosive right off the bat. So I think it's a good example of his 2nd year. I mean, I don't think he's Juju that kind of comparison of like being just like a number 2 because he doesn't have that much pressure as a number 1. I don't think it's that kind of scenario because he's already had a great season last season. So I don't think it'll be an issue.
Maybe we can do like a comparison. I know I'm gonna say the Tampa Bay wide receivers are better. I mean, and also because of Tom Brady, but I like Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, and Godwin, Cee Dee Lamb. So it's kind of that situation as well that I for the Cowboys, I'm a little nervous of what they of letting go Cooper because they didn't really replace like a big star in the team. They got James Washington from Pittsburgh. And James Washington hasn't been doing that. I mean, hasn't been that great, honestly. If we look at his receiving touchdowns, in 2018 he had only 1. 2019 he had 3. 2020 he had 5. 2021 only 2. What's up with that?
Yeah,
and you're getting
but what
him
are your
too.
options, though? You got rid of. I think it's more of like I'm trusting Cee Dee Lamb to be a clear number 1 here, and we're not interested in getting another number 1 because of salary cap for that reason. That's why we let go Amari Cooper, and they had a better reason because he's injury prone, and he's gonna miss games. So why are we gonna pay this guy a lot of money so he can miss some games?
No, I completely agree with you. But the thing is, don't you think that there's better talent out there in free agency to help this offense to be a little bit better than just James Washington? The only thing that I can think of that maybe, but I mean, I think I'm thinking too deep, is that they did use the Pittsburgh Steelers only twice in the running game. So it goes back to that thing about using more of the running game. I mean, they did draft an offensive lineman this season to beef up that offensive lineman. They let go of Lel Collins. They think Terrence Steele is perfectly fine as right tackle. So maybe this is the year that they start using the running game, because that's what frustrated mostly all NFL fans and analysts, like having Pollard there and Ezekiel Elliott, even though he's been going down every year. I mean, this is why you paid Ezekiel Elliott to rush the ball and catch the ball, and Tony Pollard has actually he actually had like explosive plays, Tony Pollard. So I think it should be more of into looking into the running game. Even you can see on Dak Prescott's numbers, when the running game is hot, then he's playing like lights out. when Ezekiel Elliott had those more than 100-yard rushing games, he was playing really, really well.
With
Dak
that?
Prescott.
The running games, it's just the fundamentals of just getting the game in control. You control the running game, you win.
Exactly. Now, to the point that about it's going to be harder, I think you were saying that if another, like the wide receiver left, Antonio Brown, then Juju had more of a difficult situation. I think it also depends on the quarterback, because I can tell you there's been quarterbacks that are really good, that just makes that number one receiver catch all the balls all the time.
Yeah.
And Julio Jones, he was a monster in Atlanta back in the day. He was clearly the number one guy. Antonio Brown, he was clearly the number one guy. He would catch a lot of touchdowns.
Ben was still there.
Yeah, Randy Moss. I'm just saying that it also depends a lot on the quarterback. If you want to go in the Cowboys history, I mean, Terrell Owens, he was the number one guy, and he was catching touchdowns like crazy from Tony Romo. So, I mean, it shouldn't. Cee Dee Lamb's numbers shouldn't go down; they should actually go up.
Well,
if Dak Prescott also wants to show what he
that's what
do.
That's what I said. So I kind of, my follow up to that when I compared the Juju and Antonio Brown situation was, it's kind of on Dak. It's kind of on Dak to be able to endorse any situation, any wide receiver. So it depends on the quarterback, and I also heavily rely on these type of changes and design plays. It's going to be on Kellen Moore.
I also agree with you that Cedric Wilson's departure is a big hit on the Cowboys, a big hit. I mean, if you look at his contract with the Dolphins that he went, it's a 3-year worth of $22 million worth, $12.75 million guaranteed. Are you telling me the Cowboys couldn't make that work? Are you kidding? Or unless
they were scared that he was better than Cee Dee Lamb, maybe?
No way, come on. No. But being a spectator of watching this, are we wrong in thinking that Cedric Wilson is not that good, that they just were okay with him leaving? I mean, we'll see this season. But I mean, he saved the Cowboys a lot of the times, and those plays that it came down to the wire, and he made unbelievable catches. Unbelievable catches, not this season, but also last season before that as well. And just to replace him with James Washington, that last year, on the regular season, he only caught 24 passes out of 44 targets, only 2 touchdowns. What's up with that? And then I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers went to the postseason, and he only caught 2 passes, but he did catch a touchdown. I'll give you that. But I don't see it. I don't see the big replacement here. And I know the Joneses said during the offseason that they're not done. They're still looking into things. I mean, time is ticking. I mean, they still got time, but I mean, I don't see the Cowboys having a big what I'm seeing so far with the changes that they have done. I haven't seen them get to that another level. I think they're actually going back a step because of the departure of Cooper. I know that Cooper didn't play that much and he was hurt, but he did catch those big time touchdowns, and he did take some the defense, whoever's playing the Cowboys, needed to plan for Cooper. So it's just the thing that you have to, he did make the other wide receivers open and made the openings for Dak Prescott to throw it to the other wide receivers.
Their Super Bowl bound was last year for the Cowboys. That was their Super Bowl ready team.
No, I don't think so at all. That it was a fluke. I think it was a fluke last season.
They choked.
A lot of the games that they won was against easy teams. They just had an easy schedule. It wasn't a Super Bowl ready team. They're too young in the defensive side.
No, they're not too young.
They've got some
in the defensive side, or
yeah.
Who did you say in the defensive side?
They're getting young people. They still got some experience.
I mean, the stars are Diggs, the cornerback.
Yeah, exactly.
Lane Van Der Esch is not that young anymore.
Micah Parsons.
But they got Micah Parsons.
3rd year, 4 years. They're still young. That's what I'm saying. It's not like they're experienced like DeMarcus Lawrence. And that defensive line is just a bunch of question marks as well. Like, it was amazing last season, but, sometimes they wouldn't show up when they need to, and the running game would just destroy them.
Yeah, well, I think that there's better wide receivers out there that could to replace Washington. I mean, we still have Julio Jones out there, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton. I don't know if you want to bring back Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders. Forget about Allen Hurns. Deshaun Jackson. Forget about Amendola. Odell Beckham. Sanu. Forget about Sanu.
Sanu, no.
No, forget about Sanu. Tavon Austin, forget about him. Well, I gave you some. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders, I think he would be better than James Washington. T.Y. Hilton, an upgrade. I mean, those are players that would make me feel a little bit more comfortable if I was the Cowboys. Even Odell Beckham, which he's always injured, but at least he shows he does make some catches, and he does. The defenses have to look at him. Like, it's not like it's just another wide receiver.
Money, though. Maybe they don't buy it.
Well, TikTok, right? Nobody's asking for him. Nobody's talking to him. He still hasn't signed.
How do we know that? I mean, there's not any clear reports, obviously, but how do we not, they could be totally talking to him, but maybe he's just asking for a lot of money that just a lot of teams are not interested about.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But, I mean, then the ball's on his court to bring that money down and then choosing the team that he wants to go to.
Yeah, so they're playing the patient game, the Cowboys are. They're waiting on a good opportunity right now, and right now they feel like maybe they could find something better if they just wait.
Yeah, I mean, Beckham, wouldn't he won the revenge game against the Giants twice? This is what you get for letting me go?
Maybe.
I mean,
yeah, good opportunity.
I think it's an upgrade than Washington. That's the reason why the Rams got him to win before the Super Bowl, because he is that player. Still, in my opinion, he still has some gas, so he can still.
It is definitely the best option that they have on the table right now.
Right,
and they are probably considering it, but who knows what they're doing? There's no sources on that they're talking with each other and anything. It's not moving. That's what I'm saying. And I think they're just waiting to see if his price goes down, maybe, because maybe they inquired and maybe he was asking for too much money for their liking, and they're just waiting for that to go down, because a lot of the teams are probably going to say no to that money that he's asking for, and eventually his value is going to go down. I mean, you might say it might be a similar situation with Jadeveon Clowney, where he was just asking too much money, and eventually the price went down, and he was getting one-year deals with the Seahawks and so on. He's a good player, but, I mean...
Clowney got with the Seahawks? Did he go to the Seahawks?
Yeah, he went to the Seahawks for 1 year, remember?
Really? No, I just remember it was the Titans, and he was in Houston. Never mind. But yeah. I would think that a Beckham going... against the Giants, that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would help the Cowboys up. I mean, I know we're still in the off season, but this is the time to really prepare and I mean, it would be cool for Dak to, when he's practicing with these wide receivers and getting to know him, to get to know Beckham, not only in training camp. The more that you get to know your wide receivers throughout camp, I mean, I know that there's Tom Brady does this all the time. You want to do things right. Look at what Tom Brady does, and he gets these wide receivers working out with him separately all the time.
Yeah, Dak did something like that. He moved Cee Dee's locker closer to him.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess something is something, but I think I mean, hopefully, if they are gonna do a move, they better do a move soon, because as I see it, they have been taking more steps back, and I kind of agree with you, Aaron, that they weren't ready. I mean, for the Super Bowl or anything like that. Even though Jerry Jones got super pissed, and this is what it is. I mean, I don't even know about their coaching staff if they're the right fit for this team. I mean, they even put Kellen Moore as the analysts were saying, oh my God, this guy's amazing, blah blah. I don't see it. He maybe had a few games and that's it. And maybe it was against sucky teams too. That's why they did really well. Maybe those sometimes. But teams like figured him out pretty quickly. Defensive coordinators. That's why they couldn't do anything.
So that goes back to what I said. It's more on Kellen Moore than anything. I don't trust Kellen Moore with your offense at all. And now your team just got worse offensively.
Yeah.
Your team got worse offensively, and that's why I said earlier that the time to win the Super Bowl was last year, because the team offensively everything was in place to win. Maybe your defense is young, but you finally got a coordinator in Dan Quinn to actually do something with the defense, and they weren't able to do it. They choked. They choked in the first round like usual. And no, you guys don't have a hard schedule.
I think this year the Cowboys don't have a hard schedule.
No, it's every year until the other teams fix their act as well. Washington, New York, you guys will not have a hard schedule. Yeah, maybe the rest of the schedules, I don't know, might give you some challenges, right? But your division sucks. So your chance to win was last year. The Cowboys are going down and down. And down. At least this year. I don't know about next year, but this year the Cowboys are not going to get anywhere. I might be wrong. Maybe they'll end up in the Super Bowl, but I don't think so.
I'm still gonna put it out there. Debo.
Yeah, one guy ruined your chances. Okay.
Yeah, no, but he's still available though. He's not available.
No, he's not available.
But they haven't made they're not happy with each other. I haven't seen reports.
I'm sorry?
I'd take him over Amari Cooper right now.
Oh, anybody. But exactly. I don't think he's leaving the. I don't think.
Yeah, me neither. But
so why would you sign Amari Cooper? That's why they let him go. Is a big reason why they're getting prepared for a big name to come in. They're just waiting.
No,
for
your
the
big
right
name
time.
is Cee Dee Lamb. Your big name is Cee Dee Lamb. He got number 88. He's your big name. Sorry to break it to you.
No,
he's good though. He's good.
I mean,
yeah.
So what? Des Bryant got 88 too. He was great, but he didn't do anything special.
Who was 88 before Des Bryant?
Michael Irvin.
Well, there was other 88s, but
when did this trend started with 88?
No, Michael,
it was a big deal with Des Bryant after.
He was a big deal. You see, so the 88 it goes to the big deal.
I think it was Tony Dorsett, the one that
was he a big deal too?
Oh heck yeah!
Okay. Just a reminder for the people who are listening. I got into football in 2010, so I do not know who Tony Dorsett is. So it goes back to my thing. 88 goes to the big deal, and it's all Tony pure Dorsett. Marketing. It's all Cowboys. It's all Jerry Jones, the mastermind of marketing.
Dorsett was 22.
Yeah, Dorsett was he was 33.
Okay, yes, you guys don't know.
What?
Tony Dorsett was 33. Emmitt Smith was 22.
You don't.
Oh no. Oh, I'm getting confused with all these numbers now.
Drew Pearson was 88.
I don't know who that
Pearson.
is.
He was Drew Pearson was number 88.
That
Tony
was before
Dorsett,
Michael
he
Irvin.
was the running back. Yeah, he was, but he's the one that also started the 80.
I mean, it's
and
just
Michael
a happy
Irvin put
little
it another
trend.
level.
It's just you're
no,
a
it's
great
not
player.
just
That's
a little
what
trend. It's
it
the
is.
history of the number 88 for the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't mean you have to be the number one because of that.
I mean, that's what the Jerry Jones were like.
Now it is.
I think that's something that does.
It's
Jerry
just a
Jones
little
like
honor that you're giving. Like, hey, you're a special player. We think you're special. Go do special stuff. It doesn't mean you're gonna be the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
Or anything. It's just
but it goes back all the way to the 70s when Drew Pearson.
Well, maybe it wasn't such a okay, here, the best player now. I think now it's just pure marketing. Now it's 88. It goes to the best player, the best wide receiver.
Yeah.
So your big dog now is
for sure.
Cee Dee Lamb.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think
the
the reason why Amari Cooper was a marketing decision though. I just think it's just a marketing part of just having the number 88 in general.
Well, I don't think they're gonna get Debo and to outshine their.
No, Debo is just he's gonna be too expensive.
No, even then he's gonna outshine Cee Dee Lamb.
I think Jerry Jones would be really okay with that if he was able to get him at a good price and being at the Cowboys for sure, 100%.
But
no,
it's gonna be
Debo's.
OBJ.
Yeah, Debo's not going to happen. Odell Beckham would be an easier option and a better option than what they have with Washington. I mean, if you look at their Cowboys depth chart, I mean, they have right now their starting wide receivers is Lamb, Gallup, and Washington. Gallup, he's coming back from an ACL, so who knows what's up with him. They've had Noah Brown also like starting some games or like putting him in there in the mix, and I don't see like something like super spectacular there. And then they have also other wide receivers like Jalen Tolbert and Simi Fehoko. I haven't even seen those guys. I mean, Dalton Schultz, he's a good tight end, so we'll see with that. And they just have to, I mean, work with the running game. I mean, Zeke Elliott, I mean, he needs to step up again, or they need to move on from him. I mean, they need to figure out that contract situation. Tony Pollard, I have seen that he is a monster, or has the potential to be a monster. And then I believe when the Cowboys had a Hard Knocks, I mean, I did like that running back they had there with the glasses, Jaquan Hardy. So he's actually the number 4th running back listed on their depth chart. They have Rico Dowdle as a 3rd, so I don't know. I really don't know much about that guy. But Jaquan Hardy, he was okay. I mean, yeah, he just needs to learn. But I mean, yeah, my final say is that I think that the Cowboys have a step back even. And putting Cee Dee Lamb as a number 1 receiver, it doesn't say much to me.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. Obviously, when you lose another big-time player like Amari Cooper, your team is going to go down, obviously. It's not going to go to a higher level because Cee Dee Lamb's now number 1, because he was number 2, and that was what's so special about that wide receiver core with their trio with Michael Gallup. Sadly, he got injured, though, but it was a special trio that they had, and now it's gone, so obviously it's a step back.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe they'll start using their fullbacks with like Ryan Nall to help that out with that running game, so... Yep, we'll see. And then Schultz, he's a good blocker as a tight end. So, I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of that Cowboys can do. Like, if they just stick with what they have, you want to get to another level, work with the running game. And the defense needs to be better. Obviously, the defense needs to be way better than they were before. You can't just put it on Micah Parsons doing, like, all the special, like, plays for you. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, he needs to step up. I don't know. They gave him too much money, in my opinion, and both of his contracts. And then Lane Vander Esch, I mean, he started really well, and he has gone down, in my opinion. Anthony Brown, the cornerback, he's not amazing, but he's not bad. Curse, the safety, he's okay. And then Trayvon Diggs, I mean, he did have a monster season with a whole bunch of interceptions, but his way of playing is very risky. Like there's their wide receivers, like if they beat him when he's 1-on-1 with them, like that's it. He's not like a big time like cover wide receiver. He's just really good at those interceptions, but you also need to you need a shutdown corner, so we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, like I said at the beginning as well, they're going to depend on the running game more, and I think they want that. That's what they want. They want to see if they can produce still with Ezekiel Elliott, and especially with what they have with Tony Pollard, it's going to be great. And we're just going to have to see if they can actually do something with that running game, and if they can't, there's going to be some very big questions at the end of that season. So, and I think that they'll probably have to ask those questions at the end of that season, because I don't think they're going to do much with that team that they have. I think they have plenty of special players, but there's just some important stuff that's missing. And I think, like Yam said, it's a little bit on what's his name? Kellen Moore, that they're going to have to, I guess, look into if it doesn't really work out to them.
And it won't. And it won't work out. This will be Kellen Moore's last year, along with McCarthy.
So you think that at the end of the season, if they don't do well, they'll both be gone?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of hope so, because last season was terrible.
And then Champagne took a year off, and welcome back to Dallas, Champagne.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
That could be the plan. I don't see Kellen Moore. I think all his tricks have been used. All his tricks have been exposed. He's just not it.
I just want to see someone exciting, and they haven't been. That coaching staff is not exciting whatsoever. So
And
it'd be cool.
Was he the one in there when Jason Garrett was Kellen Moore?
When Jason Garrett, yeah, he was.
But he was an offensive coordinator.
No, he was a quarterback.
Right.
He was a
backup to
quarterback.
Romo.
Right. But when Jason Garrett's last year
Oh
there,
yeah, he was the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems
You
like
see?
it's a repeat of Jason Garrett.
It seems like it's a repeat of Jason Garrett. So they just don't have strong changes. The only strong change I saw really was in the defense coordinator. When Dan Quinn, I actually saw the Dallas defense were working together. There's like a culture. Like they were winning. They were defending the ball. But the offense, the same thing. They choke.
Yeah, there's a report right now that second-year wide receiver Simi Fehoko, the one I just said, he's been getting a lot of first-team reps this week in practice. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. I mean, okay, well, hopefully he's a start, but I don't know. I do. It is more exciting when the Cowboys are winning and because they do put those primetime games. So I don't like seeing blowouts. So I do want to see them at least be good.
So, is it just me or do the Cowboys always start off really well?
They do have a September and October good season. Then injuries start to happen, or the teams, the defensive corners start figuring them out, and they just keep downhill.
I've noticed that trend because the media says Super Bowl bound, right?
In the beginning.
The beginning, and then the media starts to change, and
well, yeah, because
who's struggling in the Cowboys. So I mean, they have a really strong start. They always do. So I'm pretty sure the Tampa game and the Cowboy game will be a pretty good one as well. I know we talked about that as one of our exciting prime time games. That's one of mine. But yeah, we'll see. I don't think that they'll figure it out this year. Next year they'll probably get another wide receiver to help out Cee Dee Lamb once they figure it out that Cee Dee Lamb probably needs more help so that they can gather plays around him and design plays to get the ball to him to get. They're gonna have to figure out this is a trial and error year for experimenting Cee Dee Lamb as the number one wide receiver.
I agree 100% with that. I don't think they have high hopes in anywhere near the Super Bowl or even the playoffs. I think they're just looking to see what they can work with and figure out if Kellen Moore is it or not. So we'll see with that. But yeah, do you guys have anything else to say?
Go Jets.
No. I'm just hoping for a really good season. So as long as we don't get blowouts like we've been seeing in basketball in the playoffs, these last playoffs in the basketball, it just has been blowout after blowout. It's just either one team or it's the other team. It's not consistent. So I like to see good games. So hopefully we can see some good games. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. And the Celtics won, so we'll have the Celtics and Warriors, and I think the Warriors.
They were good. It was good, but we knew the whole time that Celtics were going to take it.
If Jimmy Butler would have made that 3-pointer, I mean, I know there was still time left on the clock, but it would maybe if they won because of that, he would have looked like a hero, in my opinion.
Maybe they needed a hero, and he couldn't play.
That's very true. I think they definitely needed him. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this episode. Follow us on our socials. I think it's Instagram, right, and TikTok.
Yes, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. But the main focus is Instagram. So follow us on Instagram. Comment. Look, we would love to hear what you guys think. Football_tailgaters.
Yep. And until next time, thank you guys for listening.
Bye.
Thank you.